What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for Reasonable Doubt, Season 1, Episode 7, I think we're on. So this is more like Lewis's episode, right? We are sort of seeing a lot of this episode is from the point of view of Lewis and his relationship with Jax, right? So we see to open it up, we see him getting the kids ready for school and doing drop off. And one of the parents is actually flirting with him. Now this parent is going to play out throughout this episode, but she's actually, she's letting him know, listen, I know you and your wife having some marital problems and give me a call. I went through my divorce. Call me, call me, call me, call me. And Lewis is kind of like, well, dang, that's a bit, a lot. The trial is going on. The prosecution is actually getting ready to rest their case. They have their last witness, which is Kalicia's cousin, the one that's wearing her glasses and all of that. And on the way to the courthouse, Braden and his wife are still talking because he's still trying to figure out what she up to and why she meeting up with Kalicia's husband because he got the pictures. And she was like, listen, I'm doing what I've always done, which is protect this family and look out for this family. And that is what I've always done. I'm always the one that's taking care of the family. I'm the one that's making sure that the family is, covered. And I'm looking out for you. Like he said that he wants you to go to jail. I'm trying to make sure that that doesn't happen, right? So she says, listen, I just have one question, right? Did you ever love her? Like, was it just about the sex or did you really have feelings for her? Like, you really loved her? And he was like, listen, it will always be and it has always been you. You are my center. And I was sitting here thinking when he said it, I was like, but he ain't answered the question. He said you are his center, but he never answered the question. But she seemed to be satisfied with it, child, till they were sitting in court. And Kalicia's cousin was testifying, and she was reading an email from Kalisha. And in the email, Kalisha was like, well, he said I'm his center. He said I'm always going to be his center. So, of course, now he's sitting there like, damn it, here we go. And they looking, and the wife is looking at him like, for real, though? And he like, damn, So, child, that whole situation is a mess. But Jax is doing a really good job of breaking down the prosecution and breaking down their witnesses because she really got Kalicia's cousin to act the whole fool on the stand. And she was able to introduce some reasonable doubt because they were alluding to the fact that Braden got violent with Kalicia, but they were able to show where Kalicia and the cousin had gotten into an altercation and where she got violent with Kalicia as well. We see Lewis talking to his brother and admitting to his brother that him and Jax are not in a good space. And he was like, well, why didn't you tell me? And he was like, well, I know you've always loved Jax. And he was like, nah, whatever, you my brother. Like, at the end of the day, I'm riding with you. Like, Jax cool and all, but F her. Like, if y'all ain't together, then it is what it is. Now, the other thing we have going on is Damon and Jax. Damon is still in his feelings. He ain't halfway speaking to Jax. Ain't returning her texts and calls. So she finally writes him a letter like good old fashioned. She writes him a letter and tells him, look, you know I have a lot going on right now. I have this case. I'm dealing with a separation. I have a lot on me. I'm still raising 2 children. And right now, all I can offer you is all I can offer you. Like, you want me to be able to give you more than I am physically in a position to give you right now. If you cool with us hooking up and having a good time, without it being deeper, cool. If not, it is what it is. But I'm being very clear and honest about what I can give you. We also found out what the scam is down to the auto place that the cousin is making money off of. Basically, they selling used parts. They changing VIN numbers, probably rolling back mileage. You can't roll back mileage no more, can you? Everything is digital. I don't think you can roll back no mileage. But basically, they dealing with the tomfoolery as it relates to the cars down to the dealership, down to the mechanic shop. And the cousin is like, are you sure you can handle this? And he was like, yeah, like it's like I can do this. Like, because of course he trying to get some money because he feel like he got to have money to be able to hang with Jax and be able to roll with what Jax got going on. So then Jax and her team are investigating. They getting ready for because it's time for them to get ready to present their case. And they see that there's some sort of problem with the the police report. They realized that it's different paper used within the report. And her secretary was like, well, yeah, when you change up, the paper in the copy machine, it can look different on microfilm because they're looking at it on the screen. And she was like, yeah, but why would one page be different in the middle of the report? So she puts her investigator on it. And what the investigator is able to deduce is that there was something in the report that they ended up having to change or edit, as they used edit before they sent it to her for discovery. And they were like, oh, it's nothing big. It's not a big deal. But, we just had to edit something. And she was like, nah, I want to know what was changed, which is valid. Like, I need to know what you talking about. I need to know what was changed up in here. Like, no. Y'all playing games. Then let's go ahead and knock out this whole situation. Because, again, we're looking at this from Lewis's point of view. So Lewis got invited to a fight party by what's his name? Tilo, her girlfriend's husband. That's the famous basketball player. Invited him over for a little fight party. So it's him, Lewis, and then it's the third, Sandy's husband. Now Sandy's husband is on the up and up. Sandy's husband, because they're sitting there. The parent is there too. The parent that was flirting with him earlier in the episode, she's there too. And of course, she's still flirting. She's still flirting with him. And we find out that Sandy and her husband have gone through therapy, but they're in a good space. And the husband is like, listen, it's a lot going on here that I'm not comfortable with. And the basketball player, Tilo, he goes off on this whole tangent about Jax, and you need to get her in check, and you need to get her together, and she thinks she's Superwoman, and she thinks she everything. And he was like, look at me, I'm the breadwinner, I pay for everything in this house, and my wife still got issues, she's still complaining. He was like, you need to put your foot down, and Lewis was like, yeah, but I'm just, I was there for her, I supported her while she made partner, all I'm asking is for the same, support. And the third guy, Sandy's husband, he made some valid points. He was like, so you mad at her for being who she's always been? Like, be honest, you made those sacrifices. She didn't ask you to make those sacrifices. She didn't make you to make those sacrifices. And so now you're asking her to choose her job over you, or choose you over her job. And that's not fair, because that's who she's always been. And Lewis was like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I just need her to understand. I just want, it's my turn now. I'm out here, it's my turn to get my career on track. And he was like, yeah, but again, that's not fair. The way you gave it to her as an ultimatum is not fair. And so as the night goes on, they, like I said, Lewis is kind of like, yeah, you right, you right. And Sandy's husband is like, yeah, I don't want no parts of this. He was like, y'all need to go to couples therapy. It'll work for us. It'll work for y'all. Like, that's what y'all need to do. But as the night goes on, Sandy's husband was like, yeah, I'm out, deuces. And he told Lewis, I think, it's probably a good idea for you to leave pretty soon too. And he was like, why? He said, because it's a lot easier than trying to lie. Like, basically, if you don't see nothing, you don't have to lie about what you saw. But Lewis decides to stay. And later on that night, he walks in on old boy in a threesome. And one of the women in the threesome is the parent that had been flirting with him. I said, oh, there's a whole lot going on with this. There's a whole lot going on with this. So, of course, Lewis then gets it and understands exactly what they talking about. So, Lewis is worried about his relationship with Jax. He goes to see Jax after he leaves there, and him and Jax end up getting into an argument about, him being able to hug her and touch her and comfort her. And Jax was like, listen, this is what you wanted. You asked for this, and now I need time to figure it out. And he was like, well, are you even happy? Like, do you even want to be with me? Are you even happy? And she was like, listen, I just need more time to figure it out. And he was like, wow, like you need more time to figure it out? And he was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I need more time to figure this out. So now Lewis is running around trying to figure out, is Jax seeing somebody else? Like, is she seeing somebody else? Why isn't she falling into my arms? What's going on with this? And we find out that, nobody's really telling him yes, but everybody's alluding to it, so to speak. Um, and so we see Jax out on a date with Damon. And again, Damon is trying to pressure her to commit to some sort of a relationship. And she's telling him, listen, like, I mean, you know, in the heat of passion, she was like, yes, daddy, yes, daddy. But ultimately, that ain't really where she is. That's, you know, like she told him, like, I wrote you a note. I was very clear in the note about what I could and couldn't give you. Like, we good, we on the same page. And he was like, yeah, I mean, you know, for now. Because in his mind, that's temporary. Like, I can change your mind and this is a temporary thing. But Jax is like, no, it's not temporary. Like, this, what I said is what I said, and what I said is what I meant. Now, back in court, Jax, once again, is doing a really good job of tearing down the prosecution's case. They were able to prove that what was missing from that report was they found a fingerprint that they didn't test. And Jax was like, you know, she got them to admit on the stand that they amended the report, that the chief of detectives told them to take it out of the report, that there's a whole fingerprint that they have not tested. Now, they don't know who that fingerprint belongs to, but they know it doesn't belong to Brayden. And so she was like, well, we need to know who that other fingerprint belongs to. So her investigator is on it. You know, the investigator is on it. And then we see Lewis going past Jack's house again. And the babysitter's there. And he's like, well, what you doing here? She was like, I don't know. She called me at the last minute. She, had something to do. But she said she left an address in case of an emergency. So, of course, Lewis goes by to go visit. And what is it? Jack sitting at the table with Damon out on a date. Being very, like, you can definitely tell there's more there. So, Lewis is like, you can see he mad. He was like, I'm done with her. I'm done with Jax. And child, he ends up calling that damn parent, and they end up having sex. I said, of all the women, that's who you called? The woman you just saw in the threesome with the dude that's married to your wife's best friend? That's a lot there, Lewis. But he ends up telling his brother, look, I'm done with Jax. That's it. I'm done with her. And the brother looked mad about it. So I don't know. Like, we might have to keep our eye on the brother. The other thing is the security guard was calling. And he told Jax, listen, this ain't about anything me and you got going on. I need to talk to you. I got something to tell you. Baby Damon deleted the message. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the case or what. But Damon and his insecure ass done deleted the damn message, child. Last but not least, Jack's mama's husband is in the hospital. Now, the mama alluded to the fact that there's something going on with the husband when she was talking to Lewis. And again, we know that there's something between Jax and her mother's husband. But the mother, again, alluded to there being some sort of conflict with them outside of the fact that he was an alcoholic. So I don't know if he touched her. I don't know if I feel like he put his hands on her. Because I think that's what was alluded to in earlier episodes, that he was violent when he was drunk. Anyway, that was pretty much the episode. I feel like I'm having some technical difficulties, so I apologize if this video is not as clear. But child, we getting to the end, and I heard that the end is good, so we're gonna finish this up this weekend. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.